My team and I are increasingly focusing on the ethics of machine learning, and ethically aware machine learning is how we talk about it. This is an increasingly important issue in society because of the way that more and more parts of society are being automated. We're taking decisions that are being made by humans, and we're giving them to algorithms to make these decisions. And that comes with some advantages, like we can scale those decisions really to an extent we couldn't with humans. We can make them really consistent. We can maybe personalize them to a degree and take into account more information than a human might be able to do. But it also comes with some risks. And the risks are that these algorithms are very, very simple. They don't really deserve the title intelligence that we give AI. I mean, they are going to do precisely what we tell them to do, and that's incentivized usually just to be accurate with respect to their predictions or maximize profit in some simple way. So where ethics comes in is to say, well, if we're going to build these systems, we actually have to be really explicit about how we want them to behave, not just to maximize profit or to achieve this primary objective, but also, are they fair? Are they equitable with do they disadvantage people who in society who are already disadvantaged? Considerations that the human decision maker might take into account automatically, but that a machine won't unless we tell them about it. So then there's two challenges. One is to say, okay, well, for a given automated decision system, what is the ethical framework here? How do we trade off the profit or the efficiency of the system in some way with notions of fairness? What's the correct notion of fairness? For whom are we considering particular disadvantage with regard to this system? Like, these are ethical questions. They're not technical questions. They're fundamentally ethical questions. And we need to answer those at quite a high level of detail if we want to encode them into the algorithm. And that's the second challenge, which is, even once we've got them, how do we write an automated decision system that does achieve the fairness that we require, that achieves a quality of impact or a quality of outcome, or can efficiently trade off its profit-making goals with treating these people fairly? These are difficult technical problems. So there's sort of two separate issues, and both are really, really difficult. And as you can see, it's definitely a cross-disciplinary subject. We've got the technical problems all the way through to really fundamental philosophical and ethical problems. And sometimes we're building systems that simply didn't exist before. But often we're replacing a human-driven system with a machine-driven system, where hopefully the ethical norms that we would expect to have held in the past should at least hold in the new system, and preferably better, more stronger ones. The big difficulty here in general is quantification. We're not used to thinking about having to quantify these trade-offs to the extent that we probably have to if we're going to encode them in an algorithm. And that there's a big challenge there, because humans don't really think like that. We're not very good at writing down quantitative trade-offs, and so there's a big elicitation challenge here as well. And there's a political challenge and a social challenge as well, is that where companies and governments are incentivized primarily to make profit or to produce savings, or there's often KPIs and that they are beholden to just because of the structure of our society, and so it's really hard to ask to make some of these trade-offs. But if we don't ask those hard questions, then what happens is we get disasters. And we've seen the reason this topic is on everyone's mind at the moment is because we've seen a number of high-profile, big problems with automated decision systems not behaving ethically, being racist and biased in various ways. And ultimately, that is bad for society, and people are rightfully looking to how to correct that. So, it's going to be a difficult challenge, but it's one we have to tackle.